You guys get all of your media back, so you guys should be able to see me in there. Red, orange, and yellow guy. So I normally point out it'll still work tonight. I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. Sorry, Dave, but that's the way this goes. So we're looking for those cold spots. They're going to be blue and black. So I'm looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. When I say take shape, I know that there's quite a few vehicles in here tonight because it is Saturday. We're just going to do our best to stay away from the vehicles. And what we're going to do is you guys will do, like, you'll spread out and I'll do like 1 or 2 round robins to see what's going on with your gear. And then I'll bring us back here to give you all of the full answers. This is where I start withholding information, just so you guys know. I will not be giving all of you communication device people questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You will be getting the answers from your spirit boxes or in communication devices. So where the heck are you? You're in a parking lot. Congratulations. What do you got?
It was 15.
Okay, now that's your new baseline. So I told you 2.5. We just moved it up to 15, so that way I don't have to write down a million numbers.
Right.
So again, 15 and higher at this point. Is it 15.1? Is that what you have?
15.9.
15.9. Okay, so that's your new base. All right, so the parking lot. Congrats, you made it. Told you, I take you to weird spaces. This used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. So this place used to be the... That's the layout of the land. So who the heck were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for the secondary clues. I need to know which one is coming through in the event somebody hears the name Charles. You guys are hopefully seeing the point on that as well. Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. If I don't give the gentleman that recognition, they will do it for me in a nasty manner through a spirit box. So I just make sure I do it every single night and we move on. We're going to be discussing Eliza. She married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14, when young ladies got married. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. Creepy then, creepy now. Just a little bit of a clue. Now, she married him because her father's over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time so he can see them. Well, Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here and got married. It's 1744. You do not get married in that particular year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. So she did marry him out of true love. This is, believe it or not, is a love story. There is nothing horrific about this location. If anything, it is a place of respect. So you'll see that as we kind of move around the location. But at any rate, moving on. She was correct. Dad did not die right away. And instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's plant that makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you are wearing it right now because that's what we use it for. When she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with it. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's obviously not warm here all the time. Like, we're not sweating to death, at least not yet. We got another 2 months for that. But then she learned how to make the dye right here and then moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad and told him rice plantations are going downhill in price. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. She was correct, because now we have an international businesswoman during colonial days. That is something absolutely unheard of. So, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are here. Now, I'm going to go around the horn here with all the communication devices and kind of give you guys focus questions. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can say them out loud, or you can just focus on them. So we're actually going to start off with the 2 red spirit boxes, since they are standing right next to each other. So we have Amber, got it right this time, and Patty. So you guys are going to have the same set of questions. You're using the same style of spirit box. So the 4 major things that we get around her death, which is going to be your major focus, and she's pretty open about talking about it, how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So very specific questions. If you do go rogue and ask your own, just be respectful. Do not ask anything about the children. I will kind of reveal that before we leave the space. So just try not to poke the bear. So the Ouija board device and the digital word generator, those are going to be hopefully working in tandem. So you're going to be looking for Eliza's initials, specifically ELP. That's why I was asking you about that P that you had earlier, if there's anything else wrapped around it. And the L is what you're going to be looking for, Vicky, because Eliza that I just told you about is the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. The first wife, also an ELP. Her maiden name also started with the letter L, so you're going to be focused on what that maiden name actually was. And then, Liz, your device only gives us 1 to 2 syllables at a time, but it is usually pretty accurate. The mansion's not here. Find out what happened to it, and if you get the what, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers from the when, the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. So I'm giving you a clue that it was indeed a tragedy. So obviously, you working with Diana here, the 2 of you can listen in together. And then I'm going to actually be working
got it before. You got it.
Leah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So proud of you.
I think I got you all down now.
You're doing great.
Let me just make sure. I'm gonna actually skip over to Dave and Patty because they're easy. So, Leah, Amber, Serena, Vicky, Jenna, Liz, Diana.
Well, hey, you
Yeah.
got it.
So,
Come on, how do you do this?
I'm a writer, Dave. Like they're all characters. I just had to get a little bit out of them so I can kind of put it all together. Serena was easy,
Good for
just
you.
because obviously my daughter's name is that. So all right, so we are going to scatter about. Turn your spirit boxes on. Did you figure out your mute button? I would go ahead and get it unmuted. Cameras start rolling if you haven't done so already. And I'm going to do a round robin with everybody. We're going to stay within the confines here. Just stay away from the cars. Cameras, if people are walking your way, it's go the opposite direction. Get ready now. Out there. All right, so I'm going to start off with yours. Whenever you get a full row, continue down your way there. Electricity. Just below this red light.
Liza, are you here?
So I'm going to crank it up here. There's no electricity in here, so you shouldn't be getting anything that is making it go off. So that's the whole point. I know you shouldn't get no electricity right here. You have a full row, and you can't make anything out. I'm kind of interested to see if you have like.
Eliza, are you here? We're here at your main show. Can you tell me what happened? Can we ask you questions about your main show? Are you there? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what? Eliza, what happened to your mansion? Eliza, are you here?
A couple of things on that. Obviously, we talked about like if anything was in front of something else. But it will also pick up on the shadow. So it's not a ghost on the ground. It's the universe. So it's because it's in the absence of light. It needs to look like that there is something in front of the ground. So that's why it's doing that. Like when you're pointing that way, the reason why you get all excited with you is something like that kind of like, you know, I know we space it pretty well, so when we do get something, you're not sure what it is. Obviously, got a lot coming through that thing. Yep, we're in a parking lot.
I thought that was all just like the radio.
It is the radio. So you kind of missed out on some of that. So I am going to kind of, you're not supposed to have that much, so that's my fault. So it should come out in small bursts. So you should have like little intervals of quiet in between. And you are listening to the radio channel. So we're not on TV. So the whole point of this is that the ghosts may not have enough energy to be able to use their own voice. They're going to use the radio chatter that's coming through. So if somebody's trying to sell you a Mazda, let me know that somebody's trying to sell you a Mazda. If you hear Taylor Swift, what was the lyric that Taylor was singing? Does that make sense? So it's kind of like Bumblebee from Transformers, if you've ever seen that movie. Okay.
Yes, I have. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay. Bumblebee didn't have a voice box. He used a radio to talk to us. Same thing. So I know it sounds silly, but we get more evidence this way than by just putting it on the fastest method like they do on TV and waiting. And also keep in mind, if you're asking questions, the answers can go anywhere. That's why you're going to tell me all the silly shit that you're hearing. Even if there was only 2 of you here, if I just had these 2 here with me.
We also heard chicken.
Chicken? Okay, so yes, chicken.
I don't know.
You don't know that.
They went.
I'm withholding information. So that's the whole point.
Feather.
And now we have the word feather.
Chicken and feather.
And if somebody else heard finger, we're going to Chick-fil-A tomorrow. But we can't because it's Sunday.
Oh,
Took my joke. So you're getting my point. So right now you're kind of at that point, like it should come out in small bursts only. You shouldn't have that constant steady like the other 2.
Okay.
So, Patty, what have you heard?
Not much yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, it's the song lyrics that you're hearing, the DJ's talking, like whatever you can make out, I want to know what it is.
Okay.
So even if it's usually the silliest things that you hear are the things that are relevant. They just heard chicken and we have the word feathers. I honestly don't know what that means, but obviously chicken and feathers could make part of the story.
Right, they go together.
Yeah, but we're talking about an indigo farmer that was into botany, not farm animals.
Okay.
So you got the point? Where I'm
Right.
like, yeah, it's probably a big toss away, and it has nothing to do with Big John, even though we're somewhat close by.
Right.
So, Dave, just so you know, with that camera, because it is so small, I don't always follow up with it in real time. It's usually about the morning after when I'm going through it. So if I'm not following up with you as much, I have 8 other ladies that are trying to keep up with me.
You mean other ladies? Oh man, dude. Okay. Come on.
Give me a hard time.
Get together, man.
I'm a smartass right back. I'll come up with something. Don't worry about it. But I do have,
It's all
you know,
good.
obviously the camera. Even when I have a full group of 12, there's that camera and another one that's on a GoPro because it's an infrared camera.
Oh,
That's
that's
usually
pretty
the
cool.
last one I bring out because it's not a real-time moment. It's too small to see.
Yeah.
So we just have a videographer with it all night long, and then we watch it the next day, kind of mentality. But it is so small. But with that one, I love watching it because when we do find it, again, it's a holy shit moment when you got a blue person walking right towards you and you didn't even know it. So that's the fun part
So I
about
really have the most important job, is what you're saying, right?
it. Yep, we'll go with that.
Keep me involved.
Like you have the rest of our word list. Let's give me the last 4 or 5
Oh my God, what is that?
Feather lot, late bankruptcy.
I think I'm out of it now, but I muted too much.
Coming in, girl.
I think I turned it down. So like and yours is usually F and all right, here's my other one. Amber, what do you got? What have you heard?
Nothing really.
You got the volume turned up? Okay. Now remember your song lyrics, DJs, commercials, craziness. So you guys will get better at this, just so you know. It's not an easy job. I'm asking you to do something you've never done with your ears before, is to just like catch small little phrases and terms that are popping out of there. Covered right now. Any other numbers I need to worry about?
We just got up to 15 again.
I'll take another 15. Again, we haven't had much, so we might as well record the ones that are decent, right? The average for this location, just so you know, is between 18 and 22. And that's astronomically high for other locations we're going to.
Tell him.
So I would definitely, like, if you're not getting anything where you're at, just kind of meander. Just kind of walk around the space and kind of see what's out there.
So I heard money.
Okay, there we go. We got something, finally. Does it mean anything? They made a lot of it, but it's, you know, pretty vague. How's that picture taken? Day enough job?
Anything else?
I can't hear anything when I have it on.
What about when you have it off?
Just listening to what I'm listening to.
I heard Patty.
No, you didn't. That would be
Patty.
so cool.
Would it?
That would be so cool.
Would it? I'm gonna go find some ghosts. I'm gonna go find some ghosts.
Just getting random letters.
Hmm?
Just keep getting random letters.
You're not. Not at all. Not at all. Oh, they're calling you. How's it coming? Anything crazy?
Not now.
Nothing? So you've kind of figured that out, like why it changes color so much, right? So you have like blue on the ground. Have you used one of these?
No.
Okay, so blue on the ground right now. Keep it right there on the ground. Watch what happens to the ground when my hand gets into view. It changed color. It's going to be based off of whatever's inside the frame.
Right.
Okay, so if I take my hand back out, the ground is now the warmest thing in there. So it's going to turn red.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, with this location, the ground is a million different shades because there's a million different types of material here between gravel, cement, mud, water. So I'm usually looking at the walls of this location or whatever's in red. So if I see like a little blue anomaly kind of skirting around, then I'm excited. But I've actually had some blue people in this location
Really?
before. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So, 2 occasions. Been coming here for 4.5 years. I actually have, I'll put my stamp of approval that it was definitely spirit activity going on here.
Really? Hmm.
Very cool stuff.
Actually, I bet you this is probably one of the coolest things when you get some evidence.
Yeah, because you could see it.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of like, is that something, you know, kind of like with the spirit box, you know, like Patty's listening to like, I just heard a Dodge commercial, does that mean anything?
Right, it could be
You know, she's
anything.
kind of guessing it in her head right now. With you, there's no, like, I can try to debunk like, oh, it was windy and a can blew across the ground. That's going to be colder, obviously, than everything else, because it's a can. But we didn't hear it, but so what the hell was that little blue thing going across the ground?
So you're kind of patching everything together when you're doing all this
Oh
stuff.
yeah, always.
Right.
It's not a matter of like, did we capture something here? I want to make sure you capture something and there's at least one more thing coming out of another person. So it's not just one piece of like just a camera caught something. Did we have an EMF spike? Did we hear something specific? That kind of thing.
Right.
and that's unfortunately a downgrade on my FLIR. Somebody broke mine about 2 weeks ago, so I'm waiting on the new one to come in. But luckily I had the one I originally started off with still in my box of retired devices. Those things are actually like super expensive.
Are they?
So, oh yeah.
I bet.
So when she dropped it and broke it, I was like, oh, damn it.
Oh, was somebody on tour?
Yeah. But, I mean, it's an insurance claim, which means I'm waiting on the insurance to pay me back, blah, 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 because it's all covered.
So I heard finance also.
Okay, we had that term here last night, too.
Finance, really?
Yep.
So I heard money, then finance.
Money, then finance. All right, let me see what...
Shocking. You heard something about money.
Right?
Yeah.
What brings you guys here?
She's a huge fan of this stuff.
Yeah, I do. I love this stuff. I've always wanted to come on something like this.
For the record, I'm sorry that you're here with me, who is
Oh, don't be.
your friendly neighborhood security
Yeah,
guard.
I don't believe in this stuff yet.
Okay, great. I'm not alone. Thank you.
Oh my God, what is that?
Stop it.
I'm just
No, that's not even funny, dude.
Come on, you gotta laugh, man.
I'm like a photographer. Like, come on.
You should do what he told you to do. Just take like 1,000 pictures. Make them work.
Kind of what I've been doing.
They cuss you out later.
If there's anywhere you want me to photograph, let me know.
Something about that tree.
What about it? No. You're just full of shit.
Are y'all married?
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
24 years?
24 years.
What
Going
brings-
on 24 years.
Congratulations. What
Thank
brings
you.
to Charleston?
I always wanted to come here. We're from Virginia, so
Really? What part?
Chesapeake.
Really? Okay. We're from Richmond area.
Oh, okay.
Really?
We were from
Oh.
Virginia Beach, Chesapeake. We just
Okay.
went to Chesapeake a few years ago.
Gotcha.
What part of Richmond are you guys from?
A lot of us are like further south, so like Tri-Cities area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I used to have to drive up there all the time for work. Back in the day.
Actually, we were just in Short Pump for a few days,
Yeah.
a few months ago.
It's a nice area.
Yeah,
Traffic's terrible.
yeah. Well, it's like that where we are too.
Are you near the tunnel?
Where there's tunnels all over. Well, actually, where we are, you can't get out of Chesapeake without going over a bridge. So we're surrounded by bridges that are always, especially as it gets warmer.
Dave, you can hit stop if you want. Give your hands a break.